I think some of the best stuff here is right here in the hallway. Everyone's sort of dispensing with the small talk and getting right to the, so what's going on with you in the next year with the organization? How can we do this together? Oh, I saw that this was going on with the Social Innovation Fund. What do you think? I mean, there's real conversation happening.
One thing a company could do is to build a performance on sustainability into every employee's job description and performance criteria. It's that simple. Every employee, not just the sustainability officer. In fact, that's the one person you can leave out.
The only corruption I've seen in Afghanistan is on the donor side. And the only useful thing I've been able to do is to sort of repackage some of that donor money. Instead of giving it away, make it out as loans to actual social enterprises which are being run and built by Afghans.
This forum is an excellent chance to meet people in my field doing new and interesting things, and it's a great way to form new relationships.
It gives me ideas personally of how we could apply certain of the developments and the experiences of other organizations, how we can apply that to what we do at Better Place.org.
The type of people we meet here is the exact type of people who inspire me to do this work. The social entrepreneurs, leading edge thinkers, and people who are doing things on the ground that are changing reality in poor communities.
What do you do when people are so afraid for their lives that they would rather sit back and do nothing than rock the boat?
My parents raised me to always stand up to power. And you would be trembling, peeing in your pants almost, if I can be indelicate. But you would really say, no, this is incorrect, and I believe in my country, and I believe that my country can be a better place. So when Vusi was singing last night and he was saying, when my heart beats, it beats Africa, mine beats Zimbabwe. And I used to turn that fear around and say, let me stand up for my country. Yeah.
Water scarcity is not only an issue of where the rain falls, it's also who controls. And in the case of Israel-Palestine, the issue of water scarcity comes from the occupation. Because in conflict, everybody grabs. No one wants the water to reach the international boundary. So Israel stops the flow of the Sea of Galilee. But Syria does the same thing on the Yarmouk, and Jordan does the same thing further downstream on the Yarmouk. This is no one has a monopoly where a country has power. They tend to use that power at the expense of their neighbours. What we're all about is trying to reverse that.
Someone living in one of the communities where we have a water program that we've supported, they can get on and send a text message and populate the database that we have that will allow anybody to know that that water project doesn't work anymore. So the donor who gave money for that in San Francisco can get onto that same database and say, what's going on here? Why did I support this organization? Because their project isn't working any longer.
My great fear is that Haiti will turn into what we saw in Sri Lanka, which is in a year or 2 years from now, we're going to stop these conversations. And there's 200,000 orphans as a result of this earthquake. You don't need a commitment of a year or two. You need a generational commitment in Haiti. And we need to have people talking about these issues on an ongoing basis, and we need people to create a greater link and a greater understanding with that country on an ongoing basis.
If we try and change hearts and minds with the message of don't eat fish, it's going to have less impact. I think the beauty of a market-based program like the MSC is the fact that that fishery is open. Once it's in the program, most fisheries say, we do not want to lose our certificate. We have won new markets. Our buyers are saying that they want this.
You know, it's incredible. The best part is all the support we're getting. So I have so many friends here by now that are from all over the world that have really interesting perspective and really supportive.
Touching base with people I've sort of been sort of corresponding with and have known about for a long time, and actually putting a face to the name.
Having spent the last 3 years so immersed in one issue for one continent, I wanted to get a snapshot in 3 days of what's happening, best practice around the world in social enterprise.
It's just really refreshing, I guess. So all that friendship and all that support is what I value the most.
When you look at sustainability issues, we found that it was very rare that it was lack of technology or lack of products. It almost always boiled down to that you couldn't see scalable, sustainable impact because you couldn't find the mechanisms to change behavior, and you couldn't find the right way to route market-based capital in sufficient quantities to address the issues.
Typically what they do is they have two groups of rats, let's say a master rat and a yoked rat. The master rat gets a small electric shock, not that painful, but can do an action which turns off that shock. The yoked rats, they get exactly the shocks that the master rat gets. There's nothing they can do. They can do many things in their environment, but they simply can't turn off the shock. If you then transfer those rats from one environment to another environment, the master rats look just like normal rats. The yoked rats in the other environment, they simply don't try to do anything. They don't try to explore. They essentially, you're switching on a different mechanism.
The nervous system that you have is that nervous system, which is quick proxies for danger, quick proxies for anything. So it's looking to latch on to any feature it can that distinguishes you as not being like me. I should be suspicious, I should be. So these are deep instincts that we have to learn our way around.
I've never seen a conference where participants, delegates, and speakers are encouraged to interact for every minute. This is participatory. It brings together a wealth of experience and innovation from different backgrounds, from different experiences, and from different knowledge that can be shared and expanded and replicated in many countries around the world.
I found the people that they brought here were just, mind-blowingly interesting, basically.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to introduce a new friend and fellow traveler, Paul Hawken.
We live in civilizational times. These times we live in will decide whether, in fact, there is a civilization. I wanted to know how many organizations in the world are here today to address these issues of poverty, of climate, of all the different social environmental issues that we are addressing together collectively. And I got to 30,000, I was pretty excited. That was more than the Catholic Church. I thought this means something. And I got to 50,000, I got to 100,000, and the numbers kept going and going. This is the fastest growing movement in the world. Make no doubt about it.
Jeff Skoll's company, Participant Media, is one of our partners in the film Oceans. Took 7 years to make and cost $75 million. So to have a chance to put those ideas to this kind of audience and to talk about the issues that are dear to their hearts is unique. There's nowhere else in the world you can come and do this sort of thing.
My role tonight was to be a speaker at the awards night and to, in a sense, bring together the different themes and thoughts and streams of ideas, that inform the Skoll Forum, the idea of social entrepreneurship, nonprofits, NGOs, and this vast social movement that's coming together around the world to address the most salient issues of our day, which are poverty and injustice and the environment, climate change and oceans and forests and children and women's rights and all the different areas that we consider to be problems, but which the Skoll Forum really integrates into a systemic understanding of the world that can be not just simply challenged, but can be solved.
This forum can give us a chance to network with other international organizations, and that's very helpful.
Yes, it's very interesting. A lot of professional experience and sharing experience with people we have never thought that we would meet. People that serve other communities in areas that are so far from us. So it's great to come here all together and share our experiences and teach each other from simple experiences to enormous ones.
This is about the only organization that gathers together social entrepreneurs and NGOs from all over the world who all have a similar commitment to doing something useful for the world, and to get them all in one place for 3 days is just a wonderful chance to talk about what we're doing.